Hello, everybody. So this is episode 2 of You Grow Girl, which is very exciting. I will just wait for Sharon to join. So episode 2 in this series, and then at the end of the session, I will say who's going to be on next week. So, here's Sharon. Come in. Is it connecting?
Hi. You okay?
You okay?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
bit
I'm just
nervous, not used to this, but there we go.
You think, like, I'm drama trained, you think I'd be used to it, but I'm really not.
No, I think when you do your lives at home, or well, not lives, but you do your vlogging,
Oh,
I just talk crap for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I always try and make them short. And then I look and I've done like 11 minutes, and every week I think, Christ, what have I been talking about? These people must be so bloody bored. So I'm surprised people are actually tuning in. But hello, guys.
yeah, hi, Sophie. It's so nice. And welcome to episode 2. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, I watched last week with Ches just to know what to expect, and you're very organised, so I'm very impressed.
It's the teacher in me.
Yes,
It's the teacher. I colour coded my questions.
yeah, I saw that.
um, so yeah, this series is all about not just what we've lost, but how we've grown,
Yeah,
essentially. Um, So we've had quite a few questions that we've kind of like pre-planned already.
yeah,
Um, for those that don't know, I'm Holly. I started end of June, and I'm just just shy of 5 stone loss in that time, which is
and
bonkers.
you made the front page on Friday. I will
Oh,
shout that out for you because you won't do that. But I will
oh,
shout. I saw your little face. I love that dress or top that you had on anyway. I think I wrote to you at Christmas and said, "Oh my God, I love your dress." And then I saw your little face. I was like, "Oh, you looked
oh,
amazing."
honestly, to be shared on the main page, I had a bit of a panic attack
Oh, did you?
in a way
Oh, bless.
because it was like that's just me. Like I've just
Yeah,
done like I've just followed plan essentially,
yeah.
and it was very much like recognition and seeing that picture side by side. Yeah, it was very nice and lots of shares and things. So that was
Ah.
yeah.
So how
So
far have
yeah,
you
I've
got
got
to go to your 5 stone then?
um £3.
Oh,
Yeah, I had to think then. Yeah, £3 to 5 stone, and then it'll be half a stone to target then for me.
whoa.
I know, which is absolutely bonkers. How about you then? Let's do, for those that don't know and things like that, let's talk about you and your journey.
Yeah, so I started back in May. I probably found the diet through social media on Instagram. I initially saw Rachel, Natalie, and then I found Georgie through Gemma's account. So yeah, like for that, I mean, their transformations. I mean, obviously, Rachel's your sponsor. It was just like phenomenal, and I thought Rachel's story was amazing, but I really resonated with Natalie because she's the same height as me. I think she's 1 inch taller, and um, I knew I had a lot of weight to lose, but it probably took me about 2 months to build up the courage to contact Gemma, and I did contact her, and then I didn't respond to her questions because I was just really nervous about, committing. So I've been a dieter all my life. I've always been very tall. So I think when I was at school, I always felt like the giant compared to everybody else. So, as kids grow up, they're very tiny. You were probably like my nemesis at school, like a little dinky. And then I'd feel like the giant blob, And if I could tell myself
Yeah,
back when I was 11 and I was probably 10 stone, you're bloody fine, Sharon, because actually you're nearly fully grown. I probably by the time I was 11, I was 5'8", so I've always been very tall. And yeah, and then over the years, I just had a bad relationship with food. And I never did read on Weight Watchers. Slimming World was my thing. I lost like a couple stone, and I've been varying degrees of overweightness. Probably now where I'm at, I'm probably smaller than I've ever been for a long, long time. You know, I'm 50 now, which makes me feel like so old, but I don't feel in my 50s. I've got young kids. Yeah, a lot of my friends are in the 30s and 40s, and you know, I regret like the life that I've wasted. And if anybody's watching this and they're thinking about starting, like, do not waste your life, like get on it and get it done. So yeah, I contacted Gemma again, and then she was like, I'm full, and I was like, no, it's fine because I've got a holiday. So I think like add the Easter holidays, and then I started on the 2nd of May, had my first consultation with her, and we just clicked. She was amazing, and she was like, oh my God, I've got a really good feeling about you. And I think when someone sees that, like that just ignites the fire. And you know, I like, obviously it's a commitment and an expense, and my husband's like so generous. He said, you know, go for it, but it's also a time commitment. And yeah, so over the last, I think I lost the first week, I think that's what clicked for me, I lost 16 pounds. So the first time I stepped on the scales, I thought I'd lost 2 pounds, and then I realized the stone number had changed. I just couldn't believe it. And by week 2, I'd lost 1.5 stone, and by the end of the first month, I'd lost 2 stones. So that was like, for me, this is going to work. So yeah, and I've just really stuck to plan, except for I kind of had a month where I was messing around with my birthday on and off. So I kind of maintained. And yeah, I just want to get the job done now. So I've got 2 stone, is it £9 to go? Yeah, so 2 stone, £9 to go. And my aim is to lose 10 stone. So, which I can't even get my head around. And, you know, yeah, you just got to stay motivated, which is hard. I think people might look at me and think, oh God, you know, she finds it easy. I do not find it easy. Every day you're tempted, but you just have to stay disciplined, show that commitment, and you will get the results. It's just about, you know, making those habits, but also, you know, you need to find your kind of consultant that's going to click with you and be that supportive. Because if you're not in that right mix, then I think you'll struggle. Because, you know, obviously Jem hasn't done this for me, but every time I've struggled, she's been there to support me. So, you know, I know I'm a real snacker, so I know I can go all day, I'm really good, and then when it comes to 7, 8 o'clock, I'm thinking, you know, what do I want? My fruit nut bar. So I've got that, you know, and it's the little hints and tips, immersing yourself into the social media community, you know, absorbing all the information from the other people's accounts, finding somebody that inspires you, and then trying to like download all the information from them. I think I must have watched Natalie and Rachel's week by week vlogs a million times, because I used to not watched it. I used to go out walking every day with Ruby and literally listen. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm finding it hard, and you get all the points that resonate with you. So but I can't believe the time's just flown, and Gemma did say that to me again, the time's going to pass anyway, so why don't you make it, you know, worth something. And hopefully you know, by the middle of the year I'll have hit goal. So yeah, which I cannot wait. It feels like it's, you know, I'm slowly getting there, because I did slow down a bit before Christmas, but it seems to be okay again now.
But can we just state that this week you got your £100.
I
Like, that
know.
is
Yeah,
insane.
I kind of
Oh,
set,
slowly
yeah,
got
it's really
there.
weird. I set myself like the goal of getting to my £100 or 7 stone before Christmas. And then Jem said, because Stacey, one of Jem's other slimmers, got it a couple of months back. And I was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love Stacey. And she said, "Oh, that's 7 stone too." So I was like, "Oh my God, that's within grasp." And then I kind of had a little thing over Christmas, which I'll talk about later. And then yeah, I lost £3 last week, and it was only when I was running on Monday. Kelly said to me, my friend, I think she might be watching. So hello, Kelly. Yeah, she said, "Oh, how many pounds is that?" And then I realised I'd hit the £100. I was so a few expletives come out of my mouth. I was so like excited. I couldn't like we ran 5 miles. We ran all the way up to the Hoe. It was an absolute killer of a route, and I just couldn't wait to get back to message Jem. But I just like got so emotional. I was just so proud of myself, and you know, to keep on going when you make a lot of sacrifices when you're doing this diet, and if you've got a lot of weight to lose. I mean, obviously, anybody that's doing the diet, even if it's 1 or 2 stone, you're making those sacrifices. But when you've got so much weight to lose, you've got to keep going. You've got to find something to keep yourself going. So I was just
Yeah.
really proud of myself. So yeah, I
And
had a
just
bit of
so
emotion, and then looked like shit, when I was doing a quick hello. But
But we've got quite a few questions,
oh,
and
my
we're going to
little
talk through
nephew's
the
just come
journey.
there. You should be proud. We all are. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. My 16-year-old nephew. Oh, I love him, Callum. Hello, Callum.
So we've
Yeah,
got quite a few questions that we're going to talk to. But what I wanted to kind of ask first was, why does this one work? Like, you said that you've done other things in the past, but why has this one worked?
I think for me, I've got a bad relationship with food, and like to have the option to have like food taken away, but not just to be shakes. I must admit, I was really ignorant of what it was, so I did quite a bit of research beforehand. I had done Slimming World leading up to it for a couple of months, but going to the bloody weekly weigh-ins where Joan over there and their little clicks lost a pound, and then you've lost like £2, and they're like, "Oh well, I went out and had a curry at Saturday night," and you'd be like fuming. But I don't think really Slimming World taught me a good relationship with food, because it's all like, "Oh, these are free foods." Well, we all know that no
Yeah.
food is free and no food is bad. It's just about moderation. So for me, having the option to have like the lower steps Gemma recommended, step 1B initially, that was just 4 products. It was really easy in terms of not having to think about food. It was bloody hard not having food, don't get me wrong, but you
Yeah,
know
I did one B too.
yeah, but it just, I think, and also obviously it gives you the rapid weight loss. And I love this community. Like whenever anybody new joins, if any, I tried to follow our Slimmers chat that Gemma's got set up, but I don't always get in there just through time of work and kids and everything. But if anybody says, "Oh, so and so's joined," I always try and like send them a little message, because I think this community is the best thing in the world, because you get that recognition, encouragement and inspiration from others. Like I love so many people's accounts, Shrinking Male 1-to-1, I hope you're watching. I love her. Love Natalie, love Rachel,
Yeah.
obviously my best one's Jem, and 1-to-1 Heather, she just hit goal, like lost 7 stone, and all that sad. It's just and if I've missed anybody out, it's just because I can't think of them. I'm not and like little Kim Welsh, she's just joined the
Oh,
community. She's such a sweetheart. And when she put on the
yeah.
other night, she can fit in the bath comfortably now. I was like, oh my God, that was me. That was me like 2 years ago. I couldn't get into our bath comfortably because I couldn't get out, and yeah, the last couple of years have been really shit. And this year it was like, right, I'm happy now. We've moved house. The boys are settled in school, and I'm going to be really selfish. I mean, it's killing me because I want to totally transform my house, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything until I get to go. So I've just been not selfish, but I've like really invested in me this year.
That's it. As a mum,
Yeah,
sometimes you need the time to invest in you. Like, obviously, my daughter's just turned 5.
yeah,
Um, I tried to lose the weight after I had her, and I went to a slimming group
yeah.
where I paid a fiver to clap. Um, and it didn't work. And it
No,
didn't work. It's not being selfish. It is putting yourself forward for the first time in however long, and
yeah.
things like that. And that's it.
I'm
And
lucky because my kids are a bit older now, so you know, my husband does work away a lot. We have got busy schedules. You know, I work 4 days a week. Nick's away in London a lot. But the boys are a little bit older. You know, I remember the time you said to me this morning, oh, I was woken up at 5 or 6, and I thought, oh yeah, that was Sammy every day. You know, but like now they sleep into, and it does get easier, but then you have the other challenges of, yeah, my son who's now a teenager almost, who talks to me like something he stepped in sometimes. So it's just a different challenge, you know.
yeah, I teach those kids. So
Yeah,
I think I'd rather have that over Freya when she's in a tantrum sometimes. But yeah, and it's hard, but sometimes we have to put ourselves
yeah,
first, and as a mum, you really don't.
yeah,
Um, and you just think short term, it's what, for me, it's what, 6 months, use a
yeah,
little bit longer, and it's just we do it to be a better person for them, essentially, to be a
yeah.
better mum and them to have a better life.
Yeah, my friend
Um,
Kelly's just put prioritizing yourself makes you a better mum. And that's so true because I'm so much more like happier. I used to like literally, I remember Nat saying it on one of her like vlogs. I used to wake up and then I'd realise I was still big. I know that sounds sad, but my weight like governed my whole life. I was just depressed, I think, and it just made me really sad. So the opportunity to do something about it, but do it not rapidly where you were like, you know, losing a stone a week, but safely being supportive, you know, that to me was everything. So getting those results in the first couple of months, I thought, bloody hell, I could do this, you know, and obviously I've just carried on and like I'm in my 9th month now, and except for the like month of faffing around when I was like 50.
yeah,
Yeah, but you know, life happens and things happen, and I haven't had I haven't been like 100%. I've been like almost 99%, but you know, I've had a few like bits where I was snacking and you know I came clean with it. But I think you have to have those times where you fall off a little bit. But I've never had the big binges that I used to have. So even at Christmas, it was very controlled. I was supposed to be doing step 4, I think, on Christmas Day and then Boxing Day. But do you know what? We had so many people like coming and going. I think one day we had no one here and we were cooking, and I just didn't want to eat stuff that was different. I just felt very controlled. So that's what's changed for me. It's really helped me think about food, and be inspired by other people, you know, the way that they cook, the way that they plan and do everything else. So and
do
you
you
get some
think?
good beauty tips as well from people, which
Yeah,
I follow Jem quite often to get those.
oh, I did the dressing gown hair thing.
Oh yeah.
That was good. Yeah, I did that, and I sent Jo a picture, and I thought, oh no, she probably thinks who's this randomer with a dressing gown in my inbox. So you said like it's taught you about food. Um, do you think the steps had a massive part to play in that? Because I say to my summers, the steps are so important. They're designed for different things, aren't
Yeah.
they? Um, so like you, I did step 1B. I think I did it for 9 weeks, and then I was just like, no. Um, so do you think they've played a part in you kind of seeing food differently?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been the archetypal long-term slimmer, I suppose, because I've done like step 1B for 11 weeks, and then I stepped up to step 2, which I liked, but then it was becoming a bit of a pain in the ass because just with work schedules, Nick being away, then I had to think about, because obviously you've got to weigh it out, and I wasn't really in the mind space, so I went back to step 1B. I've had the odd step 2 day, but I kind of mainly concentrated on like step 1B, because I just felt, for me, like the weight loss was really good. And this, when I did step 2, I did a lot of combos, so I'd maybe have like 3 meals and do like a product with protein and salad or veg, like mix, so like the tikka curry, and do it like that. And you know, it was obviously, when now I'm on step 3, I have to cook a lot more, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but at that point, yeah, I just said to Jem, I'm going to do step 1B, but obviously that's a little bit more expensive because you're having 4 products a day, and obviously drinking your water is important as well.
Yeah, so 1B, I think you said, did you say initially 11 weeks?
Yeah, 11 weeks. And I stepped at step 2. I did that for a couple of weeks. And then I moved back down to step 1B. But then if, for example, if I went out for a meal, or, I mean, I didn't do any social occasions for at least 5 months. That was a big thing for me, because I didn't want to not have to explain myself, but because like within my friends and family I would, but I didn't want the mental thing of feeling like I was missing out, to go and sit in a pub where everyone's having their food and then I'm sat there. I just didn't want to do it. Now, it wasn't that I was missing food, it's just I didn't want to be in that situation. Everybody will treat that situation differently, and yeah, so I think the first time I did a step, I went out for something to eat, I did a step 2 day, was when we went up to my mother-in-law's and we went out for a roast, and at that point I'd lost 5 stone, and they didn't even say about my weight loss. I was like, and at the end, my father-in-law was like, "Have you lost a bit of weight?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've lost 5 stone." Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, being on the steps in the social occasions, because as a very sociable person, like me and my husband didn't go out for meals or anything like that. Step 2 did give me a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
What step 1B did for me was, obviously it takes food out of the equation, but it gave me the no excuses. I always had to have something with me.
Yeah.
Because previously I'd be like, oh well, I haven't got anything, so I'll go through that drive-through or that place and grab this and grab this when I'm work and things like that. But I had no excuses on 1B.
Yeah.
And I think 1B is really good at stripping it back and going, you just had this, you build up your determination, you have to build up your focus again as such. And it is hard. And people are like, oh, it's just packets and things like that. Those meals are amazing. I will swear by that choc chewy bar every day in the microwave. But step 2, I don't know about you, I love step 2. Someone actually asked what our favourite step was.
It's like when you start moving up and then you have to tackle food, you have to, I think you're going to ask me about this later, but it's about planning. So, you know, if you are waking up and then you're going through your whole day and then you get home and think, what am I going to have for dinner? You know, A, you're going to be bloody starving. Like, B, you'll think, oh, you know, I'm making something for the family. Whereas, you know, if you thought, right, okay, not everybody can do this, but if you could do a bit of meal prep and get like 2 or 3 portions ready, then you can treat step 2 really as another product, can't you? Because it isn't just make it up as you go along, you've got 200 calories. It is, you've got to have the protein and the veg or the salad and weigh that out, because that's the other thing. I think I've been really disciplined. I do weigh, not like, oh yeah, whack a bit of, I'll just pick a handful of spinach and put it on, and that doesn't weigh anything, so it won't count. You know, I think the moment you start going down that route, then all the other little things come in. I think if you stay disciplined and consistent, the results, whatever you do, have got to follow. So,
Weighing is so important on step
yeah,
2, and really sticking to that list.
yeah,
I remember when I had a bit of a panic when I think it was sweet corn, and I was like, "Oh, I've used frozen sweet corn." And I was like, "Oh, what if I gain this week?" And it was like,
yeah,
Rach was like, "Come on, like frozen sweet corn's not going to make you gain." But I was so like, I had to stick to that list. I
yeah,
had to weigh everything. But what I did was, I had literally like frozen chicken breasts or something like
yeah.
that. I'd put one in the freezer and then shove it in the Ninja or something like that, and it would literally be, that would be it. It would be simple. Making it as simple as possible for family life as well is so important,
Well,
I think.
there's so many resources. I mean, I like stalked Gem's page because she had like 1,000,001 step 2 recipes, and I think for the first like week I did them, and then I got a bit boring. So then it's to get the spices out. You know, you've got the Thai spice. I think Gemma recommended that, so that just lifts up your meal. And I even use them now. Like you can get the peri peri seasoning and the barbecue seasoning. It's just, and then add a bit of like the golden veg in and cook off your veg. That adds to it. Obviously you've got more flexibility on step 3, but again, that's where you really got to be careful of making sure you weigh everything. And actually for me, like step 3, I am following it to the letter. I'm not having like bars of chocolate. I'm trying to stick to protein and veg again to help with the weight loss. So
we're both on step 3 at the moment,
yeah,
aren't we? I found step 3 harder than step 2,
yeah,
because I've got to sort it out myself within those calories, and that I can have some potato if I want, and that for me is that control. So I think that step 3 is where you rebuild that relationship with food. You have to gain and think, okay, so I can have this, but I can't have it every day. And it's learning those new habits. Step 3 is hard, I think.
Yeah, so I moved to step 3 the week before Christmas. I'd had like 4 weeks of really shifted not much weight, and I was, oh my God, like the expletives that I won't even, like I was getting on the scales and I was like staying the same or losing half a pound. And I was, getting to the point, and also I was very run down. I'd had mouth ulcers, toe sores, full of cold, and I just got a message on the Monday nights from Jem saying, "You're moving to step 3," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that till after Christmas." I had a bit of a panic, and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, where's the steps booklet?" Because I haven't like used that for ages because I've been on step 1B, and I kind of shit myself a little bit. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do tomorrow? So yeah, like now I'm in a bit of a rhythm, and I really just kind of treat it like I always have a shake for breakfast or porridge. Tend to have the shakes most of the time, and then I've always got a bar for later or bites, and then the in-between bit is what I choose, to split either over 2 meals or 1 meal, because sometimes I might not have my shake till 11 or 12, depending on if I'm exercising in the morning. So yeah, it took me a while, and then I had the like kind of, should have been 2 days, but then ended up being a week over Christmas, and then getting back on it was hard. Not hard in the sense you know, it was hard to follow plan, but it was hard because obviously I obviously had increased my calories, and I was a bit hungry. But again, it's just about planning your meals. You know, you can have big salads and you feel like you're eating something. But yeah, like you said, the first time I think I've had two bagels since I've been on step three, and I don't really go near bread because carbs isn't brilliant for me. It just bloats me out. I don't really touch a lot of pasta and carbs either. I will start reintroducing that, you know, as I get nearer to goal, but obviously I've still got nearly 3 stone to go. So I'm just trying to prioritize like the protein and veg aspect at the moment.
That's it, isn't it? Like when I've had like pasta or a bagel or something, I've like, I'll have it once a week.
Yeah.
Like it is that sort of finding those better choices and being able to fill yourself up on the protein and the veg and things like that. And
Yeah.
it is just, it's more of a, you've got to think more on that step because
Yeah. It
one
is a
B, you just
mind,
have,
yeah,
oh, I've had this and this.
it is a mindset thing. I mean, I remember I follow Sarah's account, All That Saz, and she makes the most amazing food. And I used to sit there thinking, you know, frigging heck, at what point am I going to be able to eat that again? And
I was like that with
and
Georgie.
especially when you're being like 100% and then you don't get the weight loss, it's like, you know, I mean, my husband I'm obviously very demure on here, but my husband calls me potty mouth, and I'll be like, you know, and when you don't get that weight loss, you think, oh, you know, what's the point? But Jem's like, you will be able to eat those foods. And then like when I sat down a couple of weeks ago and I made like poached eggs on, I like, it was like 267 calories, and oh my god, I loved every mouthful. And I thought this has been worth the wait, because you know I could have had that earlier and then come off plan and then try to get back on, then probably would have come off again. And I think once, for me, like I've always thought it's non-negotiable, you know, and I kind of learnt that from Rachel and Natalie, that if I'm going to do it, this plan is non-negotiable. So the thoughts of I want to come off, you just have to cycle them and use distraction techniques to, you know, scoop them away. And everybody
Yeah,
gets them. I get them every day. It is just about developing that mental discipline, which is bloody hard, don't get me wrong, but it's just, you know, like I think Heather put at the weekend, your body, you know, doesn't know it's the weekend, but it's obviously everything's a bit more relaxed. And you know, I mean, my husband and I and Sam walked down to Saltram House yesterday. We did about 15,000 steps, like a really long walk. Come back, Nick and Sam were eating. No, at that point, I hadn't eaten, but they were having breakfast bats. Nick had a cream tea and a Snickers bar, and they both had packet crispy. It didn't bother me in the slightest because obviously I'm kind of used to that now. So your discipline definitely builds into a habit. Whereas in the beginning, I'd be like sat there thinking, "Are you taking the mick?" You know, I'm like, but obviously like now, and then I came back. I can't even remember what I had. Like I think I had a Weight Watchers wrap or something when I got back yesterday because I've done a long walk. Um, and I made them like a nice dinner, and I had something different. I don't at the moment, you know, like when I'm making a cottage pie, I don't tend to eat the same as those. So I'm trying to, if I'm doing a step 3 meal again, you know, plan, do lots of portions, and then I've got something in the freezer or the fridge ready to go.
planning is so important.
Yeah,
Like that would be one of my top tips.
yeah,
As well. Like, even on step 2, step 3, even like 1B, having something in your bag at all times.
yeah.
Um, if you don't plan, you kind of like you'll get into a bit of a panic with it, though, won't you? And it's just one of those.
Yeah, and
That
I
major
think
thing to get your
everyone
head
will make
around.
that rookie mistake. I mean, I think I went out with my mum once and we were supposed to be out an hour and I was out all day and I didn't break plan. I came home and I had 4 products to eat. Not a good idea. And I was like obviously starving and I obviously should probably have done that. But I think it was a day that Jem, I didn't want to bother Jem and because I'm always like the serial apologise. I don't like bothering people, and I think it was on a Sunday or something, and yeah, and I think, oh my God, if I'd have just had a bar or something in my bag, but because I don't, in my head, I don't associate having a bar during the day. I'm pretty much like I have a shake or porridge for breakfast. I used to have a soup for lunch, and then I'd have a savoury meal for dinner, and then a bar in the evening. That was the way I did it. I kind of stuck to the same products that I liked. I tried the new products when they came out, but then I still went back to the old products that I liked. And then, drunk. One thing I do struggle with is my water. I still struggle with it. And I try to, I take my hat off to Sue's. I think she's just joined the community about a month ago, and Jen, they were having a bit of a water challenge, trying to drink four or
Yeah,
five litres, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I probably hit about 3.5 a day, and I should do more because I'm taller. So, and I
yeah.
think
With
it
work, I
definitely
find
helps
it
with your weight
difficult
loss.
because obviously, when I teach, I can't leave.
No,
I can't really to trap me in.
what are
Um,
you on about? You
but
could catheterize yourself, you'd be all right.
I'm trying to just drag it around. Yeah, I find it really difficult because it's not the drinking, it's the going to the toilet because I can't leave the classroom and things like that. So I do
Yeah,
have to. I think it was Genevieve who told me have a litre next to your bed for when you wake up.
yeah, I
That
do
was one
do
of the
that.
best tips to have a litre before you go.
Yeah.
And I always try and have the hot water flavourings in the evening because I find that easier.
Do you know, someone recommended that ages ago, and this is the thing, like with tips and hints, you think, oh yeah, I didn't try it for months. I only tried it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that's my 9th month into the journey, and I had the raspberry and elderflower, and oh my God, it was
That's
like
my
a light
favourite
bulb
one.
moment. And I
Yeah,
thought, what the bloody hell have you been doing for the last 8 months, Sharon? Why didn't you listen to somebody that recommended that you do that? But
yeah,
obviously, you knew the best and you wanted to do it your way. And I've been missing out on that for bloody months.
yeah. Get a big mug, hot, hot. Raspberry and elderflower is my favourite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it is the dream. So I'm just going through a few of the questions, if that's
Yeah.
okay. We've kind of looked at what kept us going for so long because you've just said like sticking to it because it was hard going off and then coming back. Um, we spoke about like it being an investment as well because
Yeah.
for me it was like financially I had to like justify it. Um, I remember the month that I won the free incentive from Rachel. I won a free month on plan, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh my God, this is like you've paid my mortgage
Yeah.
off for me." I was like, oh, "I can live this
Yeah.
month." Like, but at the end of the day, it is you're investing in yourself, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's the way that you have to look at it. I mean, the plan, any diet, I mean, obviously, because you're buying products, it is an investment. And, it can be costly because you're paying out for that amount every month. However, I found when I did it that we hardly have any takeaways now. Although you're paying out £300 or £400 or whatever it is for your products if you're on step 1B, which is a lot to pay out every month. But then my food bill reduced, like with the family.
yeah, yeah.
So
So averaging, someone's asked how much. So it does average around £55 ish a
yeah,
week. Is that like 1A,
yeah,
1B, I think. Obviously, the higher the step, the more affordable it is.
Yeah.
But if you add it up, like I saw someone put a post up the other day, like, oh, a slimming group is a fiver, and then the food that you need for that, and the top-up shops and everything. Actually, it works out a very similar price.
Yeah.
Um,
But you don't get, that one-to-one support, do you? That you get with this diet, and you wouldn't get the rapid weight loss either. And I have to say, I mean, I'm not a consultant, so I've got nothing to sell, but the products are delicious. I haven't had one that I thought, oh my God, that is disgusting. I really haven't. I've obviously got my favorites of what I like because I'm more of a savory person. But like to me, they all taste like really nice. So, like the moment I found that the iced vanilla latte and now the flavour drops, I put the butter biscuit in absolutely everything. That to me, it feels like I'm having like a Mackie D's thick shake every morning. Like that's my go-to. So it doesn't feel like it's a diet food, like that tastes like crap. It's like, it tastes amazing. And I think because you are spending out, why would you want to add a day on because you come off plan? That's what it was to me.
yeah.
And also, I got to the stage where I wanted to, I think leading up to Christmas, paying out for that and then having the whole Christmas, I thought, actually, I've got a couple of 2 or 3 stone left to go now. I want to reduce the output of money, and that's when I was thinking about, because I wanted to exercise as well and do running. So I said to Gemma, like next month I would like to in January move to step 3, and she said, oh, that's a good idea, because if you can crack step 3, then really you'll be able to crack maintenance, because that is then building up. So also obviously that half, because you're only having 2 products then and the 600 calories, that half what I was paying out every month. But if people are thinking of doing it, if you said, I mean, I don't know how much weight loss surgery is. For me, I'd be too scared to have something like that done, because I'm proper squeamish. But if that cost you £6,000 and you said, well, actually, I've got something here, if you follow it for 10 months and it's 3,000, you'd be like, well, I'll do that, But obviously, you haven't got to pay it out all at one go. It's just you can make, like, whatever financial situation you're in work, because whatever step you're on, you're going to lose weight, because it's all a calorie deficit. That's what it's about, is building that calorie deficit.
And if on the lower steps, if someone said, oh, if you do this, you're going to lose an average a stone a month, and you're going to have to put this out, like, fine, I'll do it. And it's short term. Like,
yeah.
I'm on month 7, I think I'm on now, and it's like, well, I've lost nearly 5 stone in that time. I probably would have put a load more on if I wasn't on this.
Oh my God. If anybody's watching that you've only got 1 or 2 stone to lose, I mean, literally, you'll lose that in a couple of months, and that'll be the best money you've ever spent. And I honestly cannot recommend this plan enough. And now it's certainly helping me, like, make the right choices with food. And I think, slowly building up the steps with your consultant's help, and then the guidance that's on the website, all the meal ideas and following people's accounts. You just kind of got to absorb yourself into the community and use the resources that are there, and plan. If you don't plan, then that's really hard to try and just tackle. If it's a step 3 day, if you're trying to wing it every day, that's quite hard, because you're making it hard for yourself,
Yeah, just really, I use NutriCheck, so I scan everything goes in, the day before, so I know what I'm having the next
Yeah.
day. But financially, just to bring it back to that, like if you added up what you'd have for a takeaway or whatever every week,
Oh God,
but
yeah.
also I noticed as well, all the clothes that don't fit me anymore, I've put them on Vinted and I make the money back. So
Oh
it
my
was
God,
like, well,
I need to do
actually,
that, but probably let's hope my husband's not watching because I already had a wardrobe of clothes. And the sad thing is, I love clothes, like fashion and stuff is my thing. And I had like a fat wardrobe, like a medium-sized wardrobe and a thin. And I'm getting into the thin wardrobe now, but I've also been buying as well. So like actually it's probably cost me more bloody money losing weight, but you know, it's obviously it makes you feel good. So
I don't know, you can't buy the smile that's on your
no,
face though. Like,
exactly.
your face has changed so much. Like when I look at your Instagram, like you were actually, right, I'm going to fangirl a little bit now. You were one of the first accounts that I followed the vlogs of, because you'd started like the month before me, I think. And I remember watching your first vlog, and I was like,
Oh, what with my head like that?
yeah, yeah,
Jem said to me after your face was out, I was like, oh my God, I've never, like, I'm sat here holding it now because I was saying to you before, do I have to join portrait or landscape? I'm like social media stuff, I'm totally crap. Like, I work in IT as well, so you would think I know what I was doing, but no, not all the, you know, I'll have to have a lesson from Jem and Rach and that because, like, I am not IT social media queen.
well, I've learned a bit off them. Like I've got my ring light set up and
Oh,
everything.
that's what
The
I
one that
thought
Gemma,
as well.
the one that Gemma recommended. I was
Yeah,
like, oh. See, we just follow. We just do
yeah,
what we're told to
yeah,
do.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, I remember watching you, and to see how far you've gone is absolutely incredible. And when I saw that £100, I was like, wow, look at your change. When we talk about target, then, because I know we've kind of, you said 2 stone 9, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you set your target? Where did that kind of come around?
Yeah, so my first consultation, so I don't know how any other consultant does it, but with Gemma, you I booked is normally a 30-minute video call. So we had a WhatsApp call. So she got to know a bit about me, what my goals were, why I wanted to lose weight, what were my whys. And then she worked out what my healthy BMI would be. So, and I thought, oh shit, when she said the number, I'm still not in a comfortable place to start discuss my starting weight or finishing weight that I'm going to get to, but I'm working up to it. But I thought, God, I was the last time I was probably that weight was when I left school, you know, and I'm like 50 now because I think even when I've done Slimming World, I've probably still, and I feel like I like normaler, or you know, than I ever was. I was probably a stone heavier than I am now. So for me, even when I felt kind of good, which I do now, I'm kind of wearing this dress I've got on, it's like a size 14. You know, I was still 2 or 3 stone over what I should be, like healthy BMI. So, yeah, my healthy BMI is So I've got no, it's 2 stone 11 to go. So, and then that gives me like a half stone buffer. To I think it's half a stone below my healthy BMI. I think that's what it is. So, and
Yeah,
obviously I can change
you can
that.
yeah.
But
Well, I changed mine.
yeah, so at the moment, I've obviously increased my exercise as well. So I do think that's reachable for me, but I'll just have to see how the weight loss goes over the next couple of months. And now I can't even get my head around. I've only got that amount to lose, you know, because some people are just starting and they might only have that amount to lose, and I'm just, you know, even just getting my head around it. But
Well, breaking it down into little
Yeah,
achievements, I think, is like having a notes section on your phone and breaking it down. I can share mine after this that I had on
yeah.
my phone. It was like to fit into a size 16 and things like that. And I had like just tiny little things I wanted to do, like to get the seatbelt around me properly and things like
Well,
that.
yeah,
And
and like for me last year, I wanted to, because I booked to go on holiday. We didn't have anyone to have the kids, so Nick said to me, "Why don't you go away with one of your friends?" And I went away with Charlotte. She's in Disneyland at the moment, so she won't be watching this. And I knew I had like so long to go, and even when I was away, that I was 2 stone heavier then, but I felt so much better in myself. I still was wearing cover-ups, but I didn't feel like a fat blob, sat next to the pool. And I think it's really easy when you're like almost towards the end of your journey, you forget how you used to feel. But it's so nice talking to other people like Kim, who's just started, and you know uh, what she says sometimes about how she's feeling. I think, oh my god, it reminded me of me. But you forget that when you're on your journey.
yeah,
So it's
I
almost
think
like I did go back and watch one of the episodes that I'd recorded. I think it's when I talked about my dad, and I got quite emotional, and it made me emotional watching it. I thought, God, I could hear the determination in my voice. And I know Gemma recommends, and probably Rachel recommends, because they've done it Rachel and Natalie and all of that, as Slimmers have done it, and they've
yeah,
blogged their journey. But it, I started doing that for accountability for myself, because I thought, if I've got to go on and talk about what I've done during the week, I can't lie. So like, I can't bullshit either. I say it like it is. So it's like, it's not all sunshine and roses. So and I just try to be myself and authentic. I didn't really try and copy anybody else. Obviously I'd watched Natalie and Rachel's videos every week, but it's so lovely now to be able to go back and think, oh my god, yeah, I remember that now when I talked about that, and some of the stuff I've forgotten. So yeah,
but
it's
people
really,
need even those.
yeah.
What
And the
they're
reason
doing.
why I called myself Changing Faces was because I didn't want my real name on here. I mean, my nephew, the little sod, he found me. Kelly, my friend, found me, because I've got another Instagram account called Mrs. Head Home. My name's Sharon Head, and that's where all my, we did up a house in my last house and totally extended it, and all the house content and everything was on there. And I kind of created this, and it was my little secret place to go and talk about what I want.
Yeah,
And then my friend Kelly messaged me, said, "Oh my god, I found your account." I was like, "Oh my god," because I'll forget what I say on some of it.
yeah,
Not that we're slagging her off or anything, because I love my friend Kelly, but you just think, "Oh my god, what did you say?" And then a couple of my other friend Amanda, she's watching, and Teresa, they're the ladies that I go swimming with, and they're alive and dipping. If you've seen them on the thing, it's I forget, because it's like a diary for yourself, and I think it's really, really valuable. So,
I've
you know,
done it on and off,
pardon?
only because I've done it on and off,
Yeah,
only because I just couldn't find the time
no,
to do
and
it.
that's the thing. You've got to see what works for you. And I try to do it on a Monday, and I don't work Monday, so and that's why I haven't really got the time during the week to join the Slimmers chat, because I'm working. And I try and drop in and see the new Slimmers and comment on stuff, but on the whole, I try to follow people's accounts and encourage it on that side rather than on the chat page. So
I I watched back my first one, and what I think, I was just so sad. Like, I watched it back and I just felt sorry for her. And like, I'm only saying this because obviously I know what it looks like now, but like, I'm not recognisable from that first person. But I'm such a different person myself in terms
Yeah,
of just my energy, and I just feel so much happier. But I just felt so sad for her,
yeah,
and I think that's why I kind of stopped, because I was like, I don't want to look back and keep feeling sorry for the person I was.
yeah. I
Um,
think it's quite cathartic though to do the videos because it does show how far you've come, but also it's like a moment in time, isn't it? And for me, you know, you found me through watching that, and like you messaged me and you sent me the sweetest messages, and you know I appreciate everyone's messages. And yeah, it's I was depressed, really. I think every day I used to wake up, I didn't want to do stuff, I didn't want to go out socially because like going out, trying to find something to wear, I'd wear huge cardigans, you know, I was like a man mountain. I just was, I mean, when I took that first picture and video, I wish I'd done more really, because I've got this bloody awful smock dress on that at the time I thought I looked really nice in. And when Nick did the video for me, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And yeah, and even I put on like a little crop top and just some like comfies, and they're the worst things ever. But of course, I didn't think that I'd be sharing them. And now it's like the worse the picture is, the better, really, the transformation.
yeah,
So, but you know, that biggest tip and advice is take those bloody photos, because there's been some weeks where you know, I have not shifted very much at all, but you know, I've lost, I think it's 11 inches off my bust, 12 inches off my waist, 11 inches off my hips, something like that. And
I do
no,
agree with you
like
then.
I feel totally comfortable now, and the reason why I'd like to get to go is I don't I've always, I'm pear shaped, so I've like got quite big legs. You know, they're obviously smaller now, and I'm running, but I'd like to be able to wear like a pair of chinos or a pair of like fitted trousers or jeans and feel slim in them. So that's my ultimate goal. So the moment that I go on live and I've got a pair of those on, like skinny jeans, then you know I've hit goal.
Well, that's it, though, isn't it? It's those non-scale victories as well. I
Yeah.
say to my swimmers of real, like at the start of my journey, when I started to plateau at 1B, if I hadn't have taken those pictures and those inches, I probably would have gone, right, it's not working,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tacked it in. And I did the inches, and I was like, oh my god! And I did my comparisons. Like my comparisons are insane. I don't know what sort of magic juice I've had. But if I can't even share my first proper, I used to. I think you may have seen it. I used to share it when my account was private because I'm in my underwear,
Oh
so I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
share it anymore. But if I did a comparison now, like those are the key things for me, to do those pictures, um, and those victories, and I cannot wait to see you in a pair of jeans or
Oh,
trousers.
Stacey's just put, we are here for the skinny jeans, Sharon. They are coming. I'll come and
Oh,
stand next to you, Stacey, and we can be together.
so we've not got long left. We've gone through
Okay.
most of the points that people have asked. Um, there's two kind of things that someone asked, something that we've discussed before that I want to go over quite quickly if we can. Um, Constipation on the diet. You said to me you could talk about this all
Oh God,
day.
yeah, yeah. How many conversations have we had about constipation, Jan? Jesus Christ. So yeah, being on step
What
one
would be,
B,
yeah, what would
yeah,
be your
like
top tip then for someone that's
yeah.
suffering?
So for me, I mean, obviously people can buy the fibre stuff, but I think if you're really constipated already, that doesn't really work. So you probably need to have a dose of Seneca or something on the odd occasion to get your kind of system clear.
Mm.
And then I take every day psyllium husk, which is like a little tablet. which I actually put the powder into my shakes. It's like you take 5 or 6 tablets a day from Holland and Barrett. If anybody wants to know, you can message me after. And then also someone recommended Slim Tea, which you can again buy from Holland and Barrett. So it's just like a herbal tea. And if you have it at night, you dunk the tea bag
Oh,
in, and then it tastes disgusting.
yeah,
So what I do is put a teaspoon of the flavour elderflower in, and then it tastes like that. So you're having, and then it
yeah,
makes you regular. But I think for me, the fact that I was getting so bunged up all the time and I was plateauing in December, that was my time to step up, because since I've stepped up to step 3, my
yeah,
toilet habits are daily now. So
yeah.
but I also think, because I'm running and doing exercise every day, that's helping, and obviously I'm doing higher cardio stuff now.
So if we I would love to speak about the exercise stuff more, but I'm very conscious about time
yeah.
because obviously, like, I'm on step 3, but I'm told no exercise. So is
Right,
it something
okay.
that you're, has Gemma kind of given you a
So
guideline or anything?
so all the way through, I've been doing aqua aerobics, which is really supported in the pool. I do that. I was doing that 2 to 3 times a week, but obviously your joints and I mean, I was big, I was huge. You see me in my swimwear, and I wasn't, caning it when I went in the pool all the time, but it just gave you that mobility, a bit like walking, really. So, and I've never entertained doing running on the lower steps. When that was part of my reason I wanted to get back to running, because I said in January I wanted to restart and kind of have some fitness goals for this year. I used to run back in 2015, and then I injured my foot in 2019. I was still 3 stone heavier when I was running. I wasn't like marathon Annie, who was like 10 stone skinny mini. But I loved it. And I think for me, just these last couple of weeks going out with Kelly, and we went out with Charlotte for the first time, it's like that. It's no better feeling. If you've run, you'll know what I'm talking about. And now we're doing, like, when we're running, we're going tomorrow morning. So yeah, I've had the discussion with Gemma. She said it's fine. And really, on the step 3 day that I am doing something quite physical like running, I probably would have some carbs then, to replenish the kind of calories, and make sure. But she did, but I'm not doing like running every day. It might be 2 to 3 times a week. I still am doing the aqua, and like today I just went to the gym and walked on the treadmill and did a bit of running, did a few weights, like 45-minute session. I just try and challenge myself to move every day. But the key thing is stretching and just making sure that you stretch out your muscles. So I made the rookie mistake. The first run that I went on, I didn't stretch, and then I had restless leg all Boxing Day. My leg was on fire, and of course I hadn't run for 3 years, and I completely forgot at the end to stretch, because I was so bloody excited that I'd run 3 miles.
So
So
so let's finish it then on
yeah.
what is the one kind of thing that how you've grown then, because we're linking it back to You Grow Girl, whilst doing plans. So let's not focus on what you've lost. What have you grown, or how have you personally grown?
I think one of my goals that I spoke to Gemma about on the first day, I've grown back to my happy place. I don't wake up feeling depressed anymore. And yeah, it's sad. I'm just such a sad person. Sorry, didn't mean to get upset. I just this diet's really like given my life back. And yeah, I'm just so much more happier. I don't, I think when you're sad, the way you cope with stuff and the way you deal with stuff is reflected. So you know, like when your kids are answering your back, it's like you're full force at them. But when you're happier, you're in a much better, calm place to deal with things. So it just impacts on every part of your life. My husband might not agree when I'm nagging him to do stuff, but but probably he would say I'm a lot happier and a lot more positive, and I'm a lot less lazier. I will get stuff done now. Like today, I've not stopped because I'm planning for the week. He's away most of the week. And just mention, so do you know One-to-One Journey? So she's having weight loss surgery on Wednesday. So when she's lost 11 stone, which is completely insane. She looks amazing. And yeah, she's having it done on Wednesday, and she's probably going to be discharged on Friday or Saturday. Well, I'm going to stay with her to help look after her, because she hasn't got any family down here. So, but the way that you approach things, like before, I'd be panicking, thinking, oh my God, how can I cope with that? But like now, I just think, right, I've got to make a list, do the stuff that I need to do this week. I've got work. Nick's away in London for 4 days, and I'll get it all done. But you've really got to prioritize yourself, prioritize your sleep, move away from the kitchen, get yourself upstairs. It's not so easy. I know if you've got younger kids, or I think my husband and I must have lived separate lives for about 6 months, because I literally would about 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock say, right, I'm off upstairs, because then there's no temptation. Ree's just put, if you're squeamish from oh my God. Yeah, I am squeamish, Ree, but I've told you I'm going to wear a mask.
I might need to send her a message. I've been debating the area.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's so excited, but I take my hat off to anybody that can have any surgery, because I'm so squeamish. Like, I probably, when I get to the end, I'm really lucky. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of loose skin, and I think the running will help. I've always had kind of wobbly legs, but I don't think I'm going to get rid of that. I've got pear-shaped legs, so but if I can fit the skinny jeans and rock them, I'll be happy.
You are an inspiration, Sharon. You've done amazing.
Oh, thank you.
There's so much love for you on here. You've literally been one of the key parts of my journey as well. And I keep thinking, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I really empathise with you. And someone's just said you are such a genuine person, and it just means a lot to have seen your journey as well. So thanks for joining me on my live.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. When you asked me, I was so flattered. I thought, what do you want to listen to me for an hour for? But then, but I just, if anybody has got, any queries, or they want to know anything, just drop me a line. I'm always happy to respond to people, and or even like fitness tips, because I've sorted out Kim this week, because her legs have been aching from her walking, bless her, and I've sent her some stretches and things that she can do. So you just got to keep going, and you will get there, and we'll get there. And this time, in 6 months' time, you'll be at goal and I'll be at goal, and it'll be amazing.
Amazing. So next week, it's my little style crush next week. I'm so excited about this one. If I give the clues of red hair, glasses, and amazing jumpers, does anyone have a guess?
You haven't. I love her.
So Vicky is coming on next week. Oh, my absolute style.
Oh my God, she'll probably. I spam her continuously with meal ideas, and I spam her and Sarah, all that Saz, Like
She's
if stuff
amazing at making
pops up
stuff.
in my
Yeah,
feed, I just ping it off to them, and they must think, "What the," you know. But but I think she's so good, and I love her
yeah,
because obviously she's vegan or vegetarian. But I love her ideas of her food.
yeah.
So
So main
um,
focus next week
yeah.
is style and food. And if you don't follow Vicky, I'm going to share a post after this. But yeah, Vicky's will be next week, so it's
Oh, that's
gonna,
really exciting. She's brilliant.
yeah, yeah. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to save this to my grid, and I'll add you as a collaborator as well. So thanks everyone for joining in. It's nerve-wracking. Like I am, I'm
Look,
really nervous when I do
Holly,
this, but
everybody
I
loves
appreciate
you.
it.
You're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And I think, like me, I watched last week's with Chaz, and it's really nice to hear people's story and hear if people are struggling, you know. So the fact that you're doing it and sharing your time with people is amazing. So you should be applauded too.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening. I've got one
Yeah,
more product to have.
yeah. I'm going to have my bar now. Fruit
I
and
might
Nuts
join
Bar
you.
by Cambridge Weight Plan.
See you later.
See you later. Bye, guys. Bye.